All right. In 12.5, we kind of dive into z-scores and percentiles again. Like I said, z-scores are kind of related to percentiles and things like that. So, um, what you're looking at right here, this is a table that was given to us at the beginning of 12.5. Okay. So, this is a lot of information. You're not memorizing this. When you do these problems from section 12.5, they will provide you the part of the table that you need. But I want you to look at the table so you know that it's there. And actually, the table is quite larger than this. And again, in Stat 2023, you'll see what the full table actually looks like. Okay. But right now, they've kind of just broken it down for you where, when you're above one standard deviation, they keep things pretty simple. But when you're between 0 and 1 standard deviation, they go by hundredths instead of tenths. Okay. The real full table actually goes by hundredths all the way out to 3 standard deviations and things like that. So the table is quite extensive. And again, you see more of that in 2023. But the big thing I want you to know is right here. This is how you're going to get through this assignment. Okay. So if they are asking for an answer that is below the z-score, you're going to keep the percent that you find from the table because these are percentiles. You're going to keep that. Okay. So when they say find me an answer that is below this z-score, keep the percentile. Okay. When it says find me an answer that is above the z-score, take 1 minus that percent. Because again, these are percentiles. Percentiles, as we just talked about a moment ago, mean that at this percent, everybody else is below you. So if you want to go above, you'll take 1 minus that percent. Okay. If you want to do between z-scores, you'll take the largest percentile minus the smallest percentile, and that will get you between z-scores. These are the only 3 ideas that we're keeping in this one. It is simply subtraction or keeping the percentile. Okay? Nothing else, no more, no less, and just using this table. Okay? So here, some of your problems are just going to say find the percentage of data items in a normal distribution that lie below and above. Okay? So I'm going to do 2 of these and then I want you to try 2 of them on your own. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's take a look at 1 and 2 together, and then we'll go, actually, that's a positive one. Let's go ahead and look at a negative one. Let's look at this guy. So 1 and 7. Let's take a look at these. So they want the percentage above and below. So question 1, we want the percentage above, or sorry, it wants below first, because if we know below, we can figure out above. Below, and then above. So we need to go out to our table that we have on that previous page, and we need to find what is the percentage at a z-score of 0.6. And again, in your assignment, the z-score table that you need will be actually right above or right below the question. So if we go over here, let's find 0.6, and it's right here. Here is 0.6. So what is the percentage or the percentile? And it's 72.57%. So 72.57% of my data is below a z-score of 0.6. Okay? And again, as we talked about a second ago, to find the above, all we're going to do is take 1 minus 72.57. So to find the above, take 1 minus 72.57, and you get an answer of 71.57. That seems weird. 1 minus 72.57. 0.57. My calculator is doing a weird thing. Oh, sorry. I know why. Down here, this should actually be 100 because we're dealing with percentages. Silly me. I'm like, no wonder that's weird. Let's fix that. I am so sorry about that. 100 minus that percentage. Easy fix. All right. So if I take 100 minus 7, and that's why that looked weird. I was like, that can't happen because these two are definitely, if I add them together, they're bigger than 100. So 100 minus 72.57. And that gives us, oops, fixing all this, Mr. Armstrong mistake. 27.43%. So that's how many did better than you. And that's what they want. It really is that easy. So let's take a look at number 7 again. Since I've adjusted my attitude on this with the above part, that was my fault. So we're going to go to our table and we're going to find negative 1.2. So negative 1.2, well, I'm going to have to scroll down. There's negative 1.2. And now we know the percentage that is below. So that's 11.51. To find the above, I'll take 100, not 1, minus 11.51. So 100 minus 11.51 is 88.49%. There you go. So let me give you 2 to try on your own real quick. Let's say, go ahead and do number 8 and do number 2. So go ahead, give those a shot, pause the video, and go. Okay. So 2, we're going to go below and above. And for number 8, we're going to go below and above. All right. So for number 2 is all about 0.8. So we come over to our chart. Where is this 0.8? We're going to have to scroll down. Here's 0.8. So the below percent is 78.81. 78.81%. To get the above, we'll take 100 minus that, 78.81. And we find that the above is 21.19 percentage. And there you go. Nothing crazy, promise you. So the next one, we're going to look at negative 1.8. So we go, right down here, right here. Here's negative 1.8. And the below percentage is 3.59. So 3.59%. To get the above, we'll take 100 minus 3.59 and 96.41%. And there you go. Easy peasy. Let's take a look at the next one. Right here, they're doing between. They're doing between. Okay? So let's take a look at, let's do number 9 together. and then I'll let you try one of these other ones on your own. So let's take a look at number 9. And so it says we are at 0.2 and 1.4. So we're going to need, in this, the largest percentage minus the smallest percentage. Okay? So that's how we're going to figure this out. So 0.2, let's go back to our chart. 0.2, here it is. 57.93. And the other guy was, what was that? 1.4. 1.4. 91.92. And if you haven't noticed, the larger the z-score, the larger the percentile. The smaller the z-score, the smaller the percentile. So we're going to be taking 91.92, 92%, and we're going to subtract that from 57.93. 57.93. Actually, don't need the percentage sign in there until the very end. So that's what we're subtracting. And so if we just go to our calculator, 91.92 minus 57.93 gives us 33.99% is between those two z-scores. Okay? So that was number 9. So go ahead and do number 12. Give number 12 a go. Go ahead, pause the video, and go. Okay, so the z-score of 3 will be the largest one. So that will be my large percent right here. The z-score of 2 will be the smaller of the two. So if we go back to our table, a z-score of 2 is right here, 97.72. Oops. So 97.72 minus, scrolling down, a z-score of 3 is 99.87. So 99.87. Go to your calculator, 99.87 minus 97.72. And there is 2.15% between that. There you go. That's the idea in here. So there's one last problem I want to show you because I know they're going to throw this at you in the homework. And so in here it says systolic blood pressure readings are normally distributed with a mean of 121 and a standard deviation of 15. Okay? So right here it tells you what to do. Begin by converting any given blood pressure reading or readings into z-scores. That's the big thing. That's the difference between what we did a second ago. So what they need you to do is they need you to convert these numbers into z-scores, and then you're right back to what we just did a second ago, where it tells you if you're above, below, or between. Okay? So I'm going to look at one of each kind. Okay? So let's just take this one, 17. Let's take 22. And let's take number 25. So remember, we learned how to find z-scores in 12.4. To find a z-score, all you're going to do is take the data value minus the mean and divide it by the standard deviation. Okay? Go ahead, pause the video, give these 3 a shot. Okay, so number 17. We need to convert 142 into a z-score. So up above, it tells us that the mean is 121. The standard deviation is 15. So we're going to take 142 minus 121, because that's the mean, and divide that answer by 15. And we get a z-score for 142 that is 1.4. And we want to be below, so that means all we got to do is go look up this number on our chart, and since we're below, we'll just keep the percentage. That's what they want. So here's our chart. We are at 1.4. Here's 1.4 again, and it's 91.92. So the answer is 91.92%. I think it was 92. Let me jump back real quick. Yep, 92. All right. So there's our answer. Number 22, this time we want to be above. So again, on number 22, we need to find the z-score for a blood pressure that is 100. So we'll take 100 minus 121, divide by 15. And this time you get negative 1.4. So we want to be above. So we're going to go find negative 1.4, and then we'll take that percentage and we'll take 100 minus that. Okay? So negative 1.4. Going to have to scroll down. Here's negative 1.4. So the percentage is 8.08. So 100 minus 8.08 gives us the following answer for number 22. The answer being 91.92%. Okay. Last problem, number 25, and that will wrap up 12.5. So let's change up the color, actually. Let's do it in black. So this time we need to find two z-scores. We need to find the z-score of 112, and I believe the other one is 130. Yeah. Okay, and then all we're going to do, because this time we're between, we'll take the large percent minus the small percent, because we are between this time. So, z-score for 112, well, we'll take 112 minus 121 divided by 15 gives us negative 0.6. We'll take 130 minus 121 divided by 15 gives us a positive 0.6. So this is obviously going to be the larger percent. This is going to be the smaller one. Let's go back to our chart and grab those. So a negative 0.6 is right here. A positive 0.6 is right there. So we're going to take 72.57 minus 27.43. And we now know that our final answer is 45.14%. And that's how 12.5 runs.